is that. So, for example, if we would look at the situation of Africans in America, if we don't look at the enemy, we'll say, well, look at them, you know, they're so dirty, they're on drug addicts, they're just killing each other, you know. For example, brother told me, you know, what's wrong with us? He said, we're just killing each other. I said, where? He said, in Chicago. I said, where else? In Los Angeles. And where else? And in New York. I said, where else? And in Florida. And where else? And in Philadelphia. I said, where else? He said, all over America. I said, where else? He said, all over America. I said, where else? I said, how about Tanzania, South Africa? He said, well, yeah, that's true too. I said, how about Brazil? He said, well, I don't know much about that. I said, well, look down there. When we look, you see us fighting each other. So if you're just looking at us and you're looking at the enemy, you can make no analysis at all. None whatsoever. As a matter of fact, your analysis is completely faulty. It's one-sided. It's just the analysis of the enemy. That it's our fault, not the fault of the enemy. The reason why we're not organized is because of the enemy. Capitalism. Racist capitalism. It understands that once the African masses are organized, it is finished. Simply because if you look at, and I'm not saying this just because I'm rhetoric, it's historical fact. If you look at the African masses, you will see we struggle all the time, even spontaneously. You understand? When you think we're finished, Jack, out of nowhere we'll come up. We've burnt this country from plantations to cities. You understand? So this is no struggle to play with. These people are serious, but their struggle has never been an organized struggle, only a spontaneous struggle. And the enemy knows that since we must struggle, we won't struggle, we must do everything to keep the struggle at least a spontaneous struggle. Do you know what will happen when we are organized and we rise up in Los Angeles as we did in April with organization? I mean, when you think about it, that wasn't even planned. You know, they think, oh man, this is too far, right? They're gone too far, let's get them this time. Once again, they just think we've just ain't nobody, let's go get them. Everybody just decided on the spur of the moment. Have you ever heard of the people deciding to revolt against the major power in the world on the spur of the moment? You better not play with these people. Because when they organize, they'll take it hands down. So the lack of organization is the enemy. Because all these games that are playing in Africa is nothing but the same petty bourgeois elements making believe they're fighting against each other to fool the people, to let them think that there's some progress coming. But it's getting harder to fool the people today because consciousness rises all the time. And the people's consciousness is rising. All that is happening now in Africa is only the preparation of the ground for a unified Africa. We are revolutionaries. And if we're not revolutionaries, we understand the process of history. There's no example of human advancement which has been made anywhere in the world without the shedding of blood. None. Even Martin Luther King, with all of his nonviolence, had to shed his blood in order to advance the cause. Thus, the statement is clear, must be properly understood. There is no advancement of human progress anywhere in the world without the shedding of blood. So when blood is being shed, we don't get upset. We just want to know, what purpose is it being shed for? That's what we're concerned with. Capitalism has an idea of making it appear as if Africans are incapable of ruling themselves, from Liberia to Somalia. But those of us who understand what is going on there tell all of them, the blood that is being spilled in Liberia, the blood that is being spilled in Somalia is only going to cement a unified socialist Africa. That's clear. So all of these attempts are failing. You can see it clearly here in America. In 1965, when our brothers and sisters rose up in Watts, Africans had no political visibility in this country at all. I mean, in 1965, when we rose up in Watts, a racist pig, Yorty, was mayor. In 1992, Tom Bradley was mayor, an African. From 1965 to 1992, great reforms were in America, undeniably so. In 1965, we had no mayors to speak of. In 1992, we have over 320 mayors throughout this country. And they're mayors of the biggest cities in this country: New York, Newark, Washington, Philadelphia, Birmingham, Los Angeles, etc., etc., etc. So it is clear here. But all of these changes have had no effect on the quality of life of the masses of our people. On the contrary, the conditions are worse.